Hello there, and welcome to the Sleeping Science Bedtime. Tonight we'll drift through the quiet architecture of the universe, a place where light moves slower and time forgets to hurry. Perhaps the day has been full of noise, cluttered with the demands of a world that insists on moving in straight lines and sharp angles. Here, we leave those rigid expectations at the door, trading the rush of the clock for the slow, rhythmic breathing of the cosmos itself. Let your shoulders rest. Let gravity hold you, not as a weight, but as a gentle embrace from the earth beneath. Tonight, we'll drift through the quiet laws of spacetime and relativity. If this calm space brings you peace, consider sharing it. It helps other wandering minds find their way here too. Now, let's begin. You are resting now, settled into a position of absolute stillness, allowing the surfaces beneath you to accept the weight you offer. It is a simple sensation, one you have felt every night of your life, yet it is the most profound connection you have with the physical universe. You feel a heaviness, a settling, a sense of sinking slightly into the mattress or the cushions, as if the materials are making room for you. This is not merely a physical adjustment of springs or foam. It is a localized conversation between your body and the geometry of the world. You are not pushing down. You are simply following the natural curve that your presence has created in the room. Consider for a moment that the space around you is not empty, nor is it merely a container where objects sit in isolation. We often think of space as a void, a nothingness that separates the chair from the table, or the stars from the moon. But this is a trick of the eyes. In truth, the space surrounding you is a rich, continuous fabric, a tangible substance that weaves everything together into a single, seamless tapestry. It is a four-dimensional landscape, pliable and responsive, reacting to every piece of matter that resides within it. You are resting in a cradle of space-time, and the air around you is part of this vast, invisible ocean. This fabric is known as the space-time manifold, a structure that is both flexible and enduring, stretching from the corners of your room to the farthest edges of the observable cosmos. Imagine a great, silken sheet pulled taut, smooth and unbroken, hovering in a place of perfect quiet. When an object is placed upon this sheet, it does not remain flat. It dips, curving gently around the mass, creating a valley, a soft indentation in the silk. This is what you are doing right now, simply by existing in this moment. Your body, with its unique mass and energy, is bending the universe around you, creating a small, comfortable pocket of curvature. The sensation you interpret as gravity is not a force pulling you downward, grabbing at your ankles to keep you tethered to the floor. It is, instead, the experience of sliding down the slope of that great cosmic sheet, following the curve created by the Earth itself. The planet beneath us is massive, a heavy sphere of iron and rock, and it creates a deep, profound bowl in the fabric of space-time. You are naturally sliding toward the center of that bowl, held safely against the surface of the world by the geometry of the space you occupy. Gravity is the geometry of belonging. It is the universe shaping itself to ensure you remain connected to the ground, and still, the curve holds. There is no effort required to stay here, no energy needed to maintain your place within this gentle depression of reality. You do not have to hold on to the bed, nor do you need to grasp the sheets to prevent yourself from floating away. The architecture of the cosmos has already decided that you belong here, resting on this specific coordinate, cradled by the curvature of the night. It is a permission to let go completely, to trust that the invisible shape of space is supporting you, wrapping around you like a heavy, comforting blanket that never wears thin. This relationship between matter and the shape of space is the fundamental dance of general relativity, a waltz that has been playing since the first moment of creation. It whispers a simple truth. Matter tells space how to curve, and space tells matter how to move. You are matter, a collection of atoms and quiet energy, and you are telling the space in this room to soften, to bend, to accommodate your form. In return, the space whispers back, guiding you into this posture of rest, urging your muscles to release their tension and surrender to the natural slope of the moment. It is a continuous exchange, a silent dialogue between you and the fabric of everything. Think of the air in the room, the molecules drifting in the dim light, floating in the currents of the evening. They too are navigating this curved landscape, flowing around the hills and valleys created by the furniture, the walls, and your own resting form. Nothing travels in a truly straight line, for there are no straight lines in a universe filled with such beautiful gravity. Everything arcs, everything bends, everything yields to the presence of everything else. The light from the street lamp outside curves slightly as it passes the earth. The heat rising from your skin follows the subtle contours of the air. You are the center of your own quiet solar system, and the network endures. It connects the dust motes dancing in the corner to the bedrock deep beneath the foundation of the building. This fabric does not tear. It does not fray at the edges. It stretches infinitely, wrapping the entire globe in a cohesive field of geometry. The same fabric that holds you to your bed is the same fabric that holds the moon in its orbit around the Earth, and the Earth in its wide, slow circle around the sun. There is no break in the line, no point where the connection severs. You are touching the same surface that the stars touch, connected by the unbreakable weave of space-time. Allow your mind to trace this connection downward, through the layers of the mattress, through the wooden frame, through the floorboards. Imagine the curvature deepening as you move closer to the dense, warm core of the planet. The Earth is not merely a solid rock, it is a heavy anchor in the cosmic sea, creating a magnificent distortion in the fabric of reality. This distortion is smooth and symmetrical, a vast well of gravity that gathers us all together. We are all nestled in the same curve, sharing the same space, held by the same gentle inclination toward the center. It is comforting to realize that heaviness is merely a sign of connection. When your eyelids feel heavy, when your limbs feel weighted and warm, you are feeling the universe acknowledging your substance. If you had no mass, if you were merely a ghost or a thought, you would not curve the space. You would drift untethered. But you are real, you are substantial, and your weight is the proof of your place in the physical world. The universe knows you are here because you shape it. You leave an impression on the fabric that cannot be ignored. Consider the surface of a calm lake, the water still and reflective under the pale light of the moon. If you were to place a smooth stone upon the water, the surface would not break, but bend, holding the stone in a small liquid dimple, surface tension acting as a metaphor for the manifold. Space-time behaves with a similar fluidity, though it is far more resilient than water. It accommodates the stars and the galaxies, yet it is sensitive enough to notice the resting weight of a single human being. You are rippling the stillness, just enough to be held, just enough to be known by the laws of physics, and everything rests in its place. The tension of the day often comes from trying to swim upstream, trying to force a straight path through a curved world. We hurry, we push, we strive against the natural flow of time and space. But here, in the sanctuary of sleep, you stop fighting the geometry. You align yourself with the gradient. You allow yourself to slide to the lowest point of energy, which is the definition of relaxation. To sleep is to obey gravity completely, to stop resisting the curve, and to let it carry you into the deep, quiet valley of the night. Farther out, beyond the roof of your home, the fabric continues to undulate, creating hills and valleys across the landscape. Mountains are massive peaks of matter that pull the fabric down, deep, while valleys are lighter, allowing the sheet to rise slightly. The topography of the Earth is mirrored by the topography of space-time itself. It is a shadow world of curves and gradients, invisible to the eye but felt by everything that moves. A bird gliding on the wind is surfing these invisible slopes. A river flowing to the sea is simply following the path of easiest descent through the geometry of the ground. This path of least resistance has a name in the language of the stars. It is called a geodesic. In a flat world, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But in our rich, curved universe, the shortest path, the most natural path, is a curve. When you relax your hand and your fingers curl slightly inward, they are following a biological geodesic, finding the position that requires the least energy. When you drift into a dream, your mind follows a geodesic, wandering through thoughts without force, taking the route of comfort and ease. The concept of the geodesic removes the burden of choice and effort. You do not need to steer the planet through the dark. It follows its geodesic around the sun effortlessly, falling freely through the smooth vacuum. You do not need to steer your body into sleep. You simply find the geodesic of rest. You let the natural inclination of your tiredness guide you, moving along the curve that leads away from wakefulness and toward the center of peace. It is an automatic process, governed by laws that have existed for billions of years, and the quiet holds. It is a quiet that pervades the spaces between atoms, a silence that sits within the mesh of the space-time fabric. Even as the Earth spins, carrying you at great speeds through the solar system, the ride is smooth. The fabric of space creates no friction. There is no wind rushing past the planet, no bumping against the ether. It is a frictionless glide, a silent flight through a medium that offers no resistance to your existence. You are traveling thousands of miles per hour right now, yet you feel perfectly still, perfectly safe. This stillness is a gift of relativity. It tells us that motion is relative, that there is no absolute state of rest except the one you define for yourself. In your frame of reference, this room, this bed, you are the stationary center of the universe. The walls are fixed, the ceiling is stable. The cosmos arranges itself around your perspective. You are allowed to claim this stillness as your own truth. For all intents and purposes, the universe is revolving around your peace, pivoting around the axis of your breath. Let us look closer at the fabric itself, zooming in with the eye of the mind until the smooth sheet reveals its texture. In the realm of the very small, space-time is vibrant and dynamic, but at the scale of our lives, it is wonderfully consistent. It is not rigid like steel, nor chaotic like a storm. It is elastic, it stretches, it allows for movement while maintaining its integrity. When you turn over in bed, the fabric adjusts instantly, recalculating the curves, shifting the support to match your new position. It is infinitely patient, infinitely adaptable. Imagine this elasticity as a form of cosmic memory. The fabric remembers where the mass is and adjusts the geometry accordingly. It does not lag, it does not hesitate. As you settle deeper, exhaling the final worries of the day, the universe settles with you. It is a symbiotic relationship. You provide the mass, and space-time provides the cradle. Neither can exist in this specific way without the other. You are an essential component of the structure of this room's reality, and the rhythm continues. The rise and fall of your chest is a small modulation in the field, a tiny rhythmic wave sent out into the fabric. If we could see gravity as we see light, we might see you glowing softly with the pulse of your presence, a steady beacon of mass in the quiet dark. You are not small in this view. You are a generator of geometry, a shaper of the world. The bed supports you, but you define the bed's purpose. You define the shape of the space it occupies. The air in the room is cooling now, settling into the stillness of the night. Temperature, too, is a dance of particles, a vibration within the manifold. As the energy lowers, the vibrations slow, the frantic motion of the day calming into a leisurely drift. The universe loves low energy states. It seeks equilibrium, a balance where everything can rest. You are part of this cooling, this slowing down. Your heartbeat creates a metronome for the room, a slow, steady tick that aligns with the rotation of the Earth. Think of the distance between the stars. It seems vast, an impossible ocean of blackness. But if space is a fabric, then the stars are not separated by nothingness. They are connected by the cloth. The same sheet that tucks under your chin stretches out to wrap around the shoulder of Orion, to pillow the head of Andromeda. We are all lying on the same surface, distinct depressions in the same continuous material. Distance is not a barrier. It is merely a measure of how much fabric lies between us. Because the fabric is pliable, it suggests that distance is not fixed. It can stretch, and it can compress. In the gentle logic of a dream, we understand that things which seem far away can be brought close by folding the cloth. While you rest, the vastness of the universe does not need to feel overwhelming. It can feel intimate, The stars are merely neighbors resting in the next room, separated only by the soft folds of the night's curtain. This creates a sense of non-locality, a feeling that you are here, but you are also part of the there. The gravity that holds you is the same gravity that holds the galaxy together. It is a universal glue, a binding agent that ensures nothing is ever truly lost or cast adrift. Even the stray comet, wandering in the deep cold, is tethered by the long, invisible threads of gravity, pulled gently by the distant sun. It is never forgotten. It is always on a leash of geometry, and silence follows. The noises of the house settling, the creak of a floorboard, the hum of the refrigerator, are just shifts in the weight, small adjustments in the equilibrium. They are not disturbances. They are confirmations that the world is solid and functioning. The house, too, has mass. It sits heavy on the land, curving the earth beneath it, finding its own comfortable groove in the soil. You are nested within the house, which is nested within the land, which is nested within the curve of the planet. Layers of protection, layers of holding. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, consider the texture of time. We often treat time as a straight arrow, flying relentlessly forward. But in this landscape of curves and heavy planets, time is not an arrow, it is a river. And like a river, it flows at different speeds depending on the depth of the channel. Near a massive object like the Earth, the river of time slows down. The water deepens and moves with a languid, lazy current. This is known as gravitational time dilation. It is a heavy, complex name for a beautiful, simple truth. The closer you are to the source of gravity, the slower time moves. By lying down, by pressing yourself against the earth, you are literally slowing down the passage of time. You are exiting the fast lane of the upper atmosphere and sinking into the slow, thick current of the surface. You are buying yourself more moments, stretching the present into something wider and deeper. Up in the satellites orbiting high above, the clocks tick faster. They are in a hurry, skimming the surface of the space-time ocean. But down here, in the gravity well, we have nowhere to be. The clocks on the wall may not show it, but the universe knows. In the presence of mass, in the presence of the Earth, time relaxes. It takes a deep breath. It stops checking its watch. You are resting in a zone of dilated time, where the urgency of the universe has been suspended by the sheer weight of the world, and the current flows without effort. The river of time washes over you, but it does not push you. It supports you. You are floating in the slow moments, the ones that linger. There is no need to rush to the next second. The current one is spacious enough to hold you. This is the gift of gravity. It anchors you in space, and it slows you in time. It is the ultimate preserver of the moment. This preservation of the moment is deeply rooted in the density of the planet itself, a reminder that you are supported by something ancient and substantial. Beneath the floor, beneath the foundation, the layers of rock and soil stretch down for thousands of miles, becoming denser, hotter, and more compressed. This mass is not inert. It is the generator of the field that cradles you, the source of the curve that keeps you stationary. The deeper you go, the more intense the embrace becomes, a concentrated focus of geometry, pulling everything toward a shared center. You are resting atop a mountain of matter that has gathered itself into a sphere solely to create a stable place for life to exist. Deep within that sphere, the Earth's core spins, a heavy heart of iron, rotating in the silence of the deep. This rotation does more than generate magnetic fields. It adds a subtle twist to the fabric of space-time itself. Just as a spoon turning in a jar of thick honey drags the liquid around, with it, the spinning Earth slowly drags the space around it into a gentle swirl. This phenomenon, known as frame dragging, means that the space you occupy is not static, but is slowly, imperceptibly rotating in sympathy with the planet. You are being rocked, very slowly, by the turning of the world's core, and the stillness deepens. This twisting of space is so gentle that it cannot be felt by the senses, yet it wraps the planet in a soft vortex of geometry. It suggests that space is not just a stage, but a participant, moving in harmony with the matter it holds. The air in your room, the walls of your home, and your own resting body are all drifting slightly within this cosmic current, carried by the momentum of the sphere below. It is a motion without movement, a travel without transit, allowing you to participate in the grand rotation of the celestial mechanics while remaining perfectly still in your bed. Consider the path of the moon, hanging high and silent in the night sky. It, too, is caught in the curvature created by the Earth, rolling along the upper rim of the gravity well we rest at the bottom of. The moon is not flying away, nor is it falling down. It is falling around. It has found a perfect balance between its forward motion and the curve of space, locking it into an eternal circle of companionship. It surrenders to the geometry, allowing the slope of space-time to guide its journey through the dark, night after night, without engine or effort. This state of continuous, balanced falling is what we call an orbit. It is the ultimate form of yielding to gravity. If you were to ascend high enough, you would feel weightlessness, not because gravity has vanished, but because you have given yourself over to it completely. Astronauts floating in the void are not escaping the Earth's pull. They are falling freely in a vacuum, matching the curve of the Earth so perfectly that they never hit the ground. Weightlessness is the sensation of removing all. Resistance of allowing the universe to carry you entirely. And the cycle continues. Here on the surface, the ground intercepts your fall. You are pulled toward the center, but the bed rises to meet you, creating the sensation of weight. This pressure you feel against your back is the Earth's way of catching you, of interrupting the free fall to hold you in a suspended embrace. You are being caught, moment after moment, by the solid matter of the world. It is a continuous act of support. Promise that you will not slip through the cracks of the universe, that there is a solid limit to how deep you can go. Let your mind drift outward from the Earth, expanding the view to the Sun, that colossal well of gravity that governs the entire system. The Sun creates a valley in space-time so deep and wide that all the planets, from swift Mercury to distant Neptune, roll along its slopes like marbles in a great ceramic bowl. We are all sliding along the walls of this solar depression, caught in the grand, slow spiral of the year. The Earth does not struggle to stay in orbit. It simply follows the contour of the valley, coasting along the path of least resistance. In this vast solar architecture, there is no up or down, only inward toward the mass and outward toward the void. Down is simply the direction of the deepest curve, the direction of the greatest comfort for matter. For you, down is the mattress. For the Earth, down is the Sun. We are a nesting doll of gravity wells, each one held safely inside the other. You are held by the Earth, and the Earth is held by the Sun, and the Sun is held by the center of the galaxy. It is a chain of connection that anchors you to the very heart of the Milky Way, and the heavy dark protects. This layering of gravitational fields acts as a shield, a complex weave of forces that keeps the chaotic void at bay. Within these curves, there is order, there is predictability. The planets do not veer off course. They respect the geometry. The Sun does not wander. It sits at the bottom of its well, a steady hearth warming the family of worlds circling it. The laws of relativity ensure stability, creating a cosmos where things tend to stay where they are put, where orbits act as fences of invisible energy. Think of the texture of this space, not as emptiness, but as a fluid that can be thick or thin. Near a black hole, the fabric is pulled so taut, stretched so deep, that it becomes like a waterfall of space, flowing inward faster than light can swim upstream. But here, in the quiet suburbs of the solar system, the flow is gentle. It is a lazy river, a calm drift. The curvature is just enough to keep us together, but not enough to crush us. We live in the temperate zone of gravity, a place of perfect equilibrium. As you lie there, consider that you are also traveling through time. In the view of relativity, space and time are fused into a single entity, a four-dimensional block where the past, present, and future exist. Together, this is often called the block universe. Imagine a loaf of bread, where every slice is a moment in time. The entire loaf exists at once, but our consciousness only perceives one slice at a time, moving through the loaf from end to end. The moments you have lived are not gone. They are simply in the previous slice, preserved forever in the geometry of the block. And time rests. The future is not a blank void waiting to be written. It is a landscape waiting to be visited, just as the valley exists before you walk into it. The tomorrow exists before you arrive. There is a profound peace in this idea that the path is already laid out, the terrain already formed. You do not need to build the future. You simply need to walk into it, or in this case, drift into it. The anxiety of the unknown fades when we view time as a solid geography, a territory as real and permanent as the mountains and the seas. This structure implies that every moment is eternal. The time you spent laughing with a friend, the time you spent watching the rain, the time you are spending now in the quiet dark. These are permanent coordinates in the space-time block. They do not dissolve. They are fixed points in the architecture of reality. By resting now, you are creating a slice of peace, a permanent monument of calm that will exist in the universe forever. You are building a sanctuary in the fourth dimension. The speed at which we move through this block is governed by the speed of light, the cosmic speed limit. Nothing can travel faster than light, which means there is a limit to how fast information can spread, how fast cause can lead to effect. This limit is not a restriction, it is a safeguard. It prevents everything from happening at once. It ensures that there is a sequence, a narrative, a gentle unfolding of events. It gives the universe a pace, a rhythm that cannot be rushed, and the order remains. Because light takes time to travel, when you look at the stars, you are looking into the past. The light from a star resting on the horizon may have left its source 100 years ago, traveling across the folds of space to reach your eye tonight. You are seeing the universe as it was, not as it is. The sky is a grand museum of history, a glowing archive of what has been. It is a reminder that the past is always with us, shining down, present and beautiful. Even the sunlight that warmed the ground earlier today took 8 minutes to reach Earth. For those 8 minutes, the light was a traveler in the void, a silent messenger crossing the bridge of distance. We are always living in a slight delay, buffered from the immediate harshness of the cosmos by the gap of time. This buffer creates a softness to reality, a lag that allows existence to process itself. We are held in a gentle delay, a cozy echo of the events that shape the world. Now let us soften the rigidity of this block. While the structure is solid, the fabric itself is topological, meaning it can stretch, bend, and twist without breaking. In topology, a coffee cup and a donut are the same shape because one can be smoothly stretched into the other without tearing. The universe operates on this principle of continuous deformation. It is malleable. It adapts. The space around you is constantly shifting its shape to accommodate the dance of matter and energy, and everything softens. Shapes are not fixed, they are suggestions. The distance between 2 points is not a rigid line, it is a result of the shape of the space between them. If you were to fold a piece of paper, bringing the top edge to meet the bottom, the distance between them would vanish. The universe, being a fabric, has the potential for such folds. These are the theoretical bridges that link the far corners of the cosmos, bypassing the long journey across the surface. These bridges are known as wormholes, or Einstein-Rosen bridges. They are tunnels through the bulk of space-time, secret passageways that connect distant valleys. Imagine that the universe is a mountain range. To get to the other side, you could walk over every peak and through every valley, a long and arduous trek, or you could walk through a tunnel carved deep within the rock, a quiet, protected path that leads instantly to the destination. The wormhole is that tunnel, a shortcut through the geometry of the dark, and the distance deepens. While we have not yet walked through these tunnels, the equations of relativity tell us they are possible. They whisper that separation is an illusion caused by following the long way around. In the deeper truth of the universe, every point is potentially connected to every other point. The fabric can fold. The vast loneliness of deep space can be collapsed into a singular point of contact. You are not as far from the stars as it seems. You are just a fold away. This concept brings a sense of intimacy to the cosmos. It suggests that the universe is not a scattering of isolated islands, but a single, folded entity where everything is touching in the higher dimensions. The gravity that holds you to the bed is the same gravity that could, in theory, open a door to the Andromeda Galaxy. The forces are the same. The fabric is the same. The potential for connection is woven into the very laws that govern your sleep. The entrance to such a bridge is a sphere, a three-dimensional hole in space that reflects the destination within it like a perfect crystal ball. It would not be a chaotic vortex, but a silent, shimmering window. To pass through it would be to slip from one quiet place to another, bypassing the light years of emptiness in between. It is a journey of geometry, not of engines. It is a movement of space past you, rather than you moving through space, and silence fills the space. In this hypothetical tunnel, you would be shielded from the outside universe. The throat of the wormhole is a sanctuary within a sanctuary, a place where the normal rules of distance do not apply. Here, the universe is intimate, contracted to the size of a corridor. It is a cozy thought that the vastness can be made small, that the infinite can be held in the palm of a mathematical equation. Even if these bridges remain theoretical, their existence in the math tells us something profound about reality. It wants to be connected. The universe does not favor isolation. It favors curves, loops, and links. It bends light around galaxies to let us see what is behind them. It drags space around, spinning planets. It stretches time to keep the speed of light constant. Every law seems designed to create a relationship between the observer and the observed, between the here and the there. Think of your own body as a topological space. You curl up, folding your limbs, reducing your surface area, creating a closed loop of warmth. You are mimicking the universe, folding in on yourself to find the center, to find the most comfortable geometry for rest. Sleep is a kind of wormhole for the consciousness, a bridge that connects the moment you close your eyes to the moment you open them, skipping over the hours of the night in a single, seamless instant, and the connection remains. You travel through the night without experiencing the duration. You enter the tunnel of sleep, and you emerge on the other side, refreshed and renewed. The time that passes is real for the world, but for you, it is compressed, folded away. You are a time traveler every single night, slipping through the quiet bridge of dreams to arrive at the morning. This ability to compress time is a natural power you possess. It aligns you with the relativistic nature of the cosmos. Just as a black hole slows time, your sleep suspends your perception of it. You are creating a personal event horizon, a boundary across which the noise of the world cannot follow. Inside this horizon, everything is still. The clock ticks, but it does not measure your experience. You are off the clock, floating in the undefined duration of rest. Far away, the stars continue their slow drift. The galaxies rotate in their majestic silence, and the fabric of space-time ripples with the passing of gravitational waves. These waves are the whispers of the universe, faint echoes of distant movements, stretching and squeezing the space by a fraction of an atom. They pass through the earth, through the house, through you. You are transparent to the waves of the cosmos. They wash over you, leaving you undisturbed, connecting you to the motion of black holes colliding billions of years ago. And the bond holds. You are constantly being touched by the history of the universe. The ripples of space-time are like a gentle massage from the deep past, a reminder that the fabric is alive with energy. Nothing is stagnant. Even in the deepest quiet, the air is vibrating with the subtle song of gravity. You are resting in a dynamic, living field, a sea of geometry that supports your life and your sleep. This continuous interaction between your body and the field suggests that you are never truly static, even when you are perfectly still. In the language of relativity, to be at rest on the surface of the earth is to be in a constant state of interaction with the ground. You are pushing against the curvature, and the curvature is pushing back. The mattress is not just a passive object. It is a physical agent applying a gentle upward pressure that counteracts the slide down the gravitational well. This balance of forces is what we call weight, but it is really a conversation between the solid earth and the falling space. There is a famous thought, often called the happiest thought of a physicist's life, which helps us understand this sensation. It proposes that if the bed were to suddenly vanish and the floor with it, you would not feel gravity pulling you down. Instead, you would feel weightless, floating in a state of pure freedom. The sensation of weight comes not from the fall, but from the resistance to the fall. By lying here, supported and safe, you are feeling the earth interrupting your journey toward the center, holding you in a suspended state of comfort against the natural flow of the manifold. And the balance remains. The walls of the room, the roof overhead, and the foundation below are all part of this great resistance. They are accelerating upward in a sense, pushing against the fabric to maintain their shape and position. You are riding the surface of a planet that refuses to collapse, a world that is strong enough to hold its ground against the deep tug of the core. It is a powerful realization that the stability of your sleep is born from the strength of the planet's materials, pushing back against the geometry of the dark. Imagine being in a quiet room far out in deep space, away from all stars and planets, where the engines of a ship gently push the floor up against your feet. The sensation would feel exactly the same as the gravity you feel now. This is the equivalence principle, the idea that gravity and acceleration are indistinguishable to the body. The Earth is, in effect, a boundless engine that provides a constant, steady support, pressing you into the comfort of the sheets, simulating a journey that never ends, yet never requires you to leave your home. This constant pressure is a reminder of your presence in the physical world. It grounds you. If the universe were indifferent, it might let you drift aimlessly, but instead it provides this steady anchor. The heaviness of your limbs is a sign that you are traveling with the Earth, locked into its frame of reference. You are part of the planet's inventory, carried along on its grand orbit, secured by the very forces that might otherwise seem overwhelming. You are a passenger on a vessel of rock and iron, and the light travels on. Just as your body follows the curves of the Earth, light itself follows the curves of space. We tend to think of light as a straight laser beam, cutting through the dark with rigid precision. But in the presence of gravity, even light is humble. It bends. It yields to the mass of the stars and the planets. If a beam of starlight passes close to the sun, it dips, bowing in reverence to the massive sphere before continuing on its journey. The universe is a place of soft angles and gentle arcs, where nothing is too proud to change its path. This bending of light creates a phenomenon known as gravitational lensing, a cosmic magnifying glass that allows us to see what is hidden. When a massive galaxy sits between us and a distant star, the gravity of the galaxy acts like a lens, bending the light of the hidden star around it, bringing it into view. The universe has built-in mirrors and lenses, tools that reveal the unseen. It suggests that nothing is ever truly blocked from view. The geometry of space will eventually find a way to carry the image around the obstacle, delivering the light to the observer. Think of the air in your room, acting in a similar, though much subtler way. The light from the moon filtering through the window is navigating the gravity of the Earth, arriving at your eyes after a journey of subtle deflections. The visual world is not a flat painting. It is a distorted, beautiful tapestry where images wrap around massive objects. Reality curves to ensure that light finds its destination. You are the destination for the photons that have traveled millions of miles, guided by the unseen valleys of space-time, to reach the sanctuary of your room, and the vision clears. This lensing effect creates rings of light, halos of brilliance that encircle the dark centers of gravity. It is a poetic image. The darkness is framed by the light, bounded by a circle of radiance. The shadows in your room are not absolute. They are softened by the scattering of light, by the way energy fills the spaces between the furniture. Even in the deepest night, there is a geometry of glow, a faint luminescence that outlines the shape of the world, keeping the total blackness at bay. Let us consider the speed of this light, the absolute limit of the cosmos. Because light takes time to travel, there is a bubble around you, a cone of influence that defines your now. Things that happen too far away, outside this cone, cannot affect you in this moment. They are in the elsewhere, disconnected from your present reality by the vastness of space. This light cone is a protective boundary. It ensures that you are safe from the immediate chaos of the distant universe. Only the local, the near, and the immediate can touch you here. This boundary creates a private sanctuary of causality. For an event to disturb your sleep, it must be close enough or have happened long enough ago for the influence to reach you. The supernova exploding in a distant galaxy tonight is outside your cone. It cannot reach you, cannot wake you. You are insulated by the sheer scale of the universe. The speed of light is not just a limit. It is a buffer, a cosmic wall that keeps the faraway troubles from encroaching on your quiet rest. And time waits for you. Within this protective bubble, the sequence of events is orderly. Cause comes before effect. The cup touches the table before the sound reaches your ear. The pillow settles before your head rests. There is no confusion in the timeline, no jumbling of the narrative. The laws of relativity preserve the order of history, ensuring that your life unfolds in a logical, coherent stream. You can trust the flow of time to move forward, one second after another, carrying you gently toward the morning. The fabric that facilitates all this is defined by its smoothness. In the mathematics of the cosmos, spacetime is a differentiable manifold, which simply means it has no sharp corners, no jagged edges where the laws of physics break down. It is infinitely smooth. If you were to run your hand along the fabric of the universe, it would feel like polished marble, or cool water, or seamless silk. The transition from one moment to the next is flawless, a gliding motion that encounters no friction or bumps. This smoothness allows for the graceful aging of the universe. Galaxies merge like drops of oil on water. Stars form like condensation on a cool glass. The violence we see in the telescope is, when viewed through the lens of geometry, a fluid dynamic, a reshaping of the smooth sheet. Your own movements, the slow rise and fall of your chest, are part of this seamless dance. You are not jarring the universe, you are flowing with it, a smooth integration of biology and physics. And the current holds steady. The smoothness extends to the passage of time itself. Minutes do not tick in discrete, jerky steps. They flow. The now you are experiencing slides effortlessly into the then, and the soon arrives without a sudden jolt. It is a continuous spectrum of existence. In sleep, this continuity is felt most deeply. You drift from wakefulness to slumber, not by crossing a hard border, but by sliding down a gentle gradient of awareness, the slope of consciousness leveling out into the flat, calm plane of dreams. Consider the horizon, not the one you see at the beach, but the event horizon of a black hole. It is the ultimate boundary, the point of no return, where the curve of space becomes so steep that the path out disappears. Yet, to an observer falling in, the horizon is not a physical wall. It is simply a point in space, indistinguishable from any other. The laws of physics do not break at the edge. They simply continue their work in a deeper, more profound way. Even at the limits of reality, the geometry remains consistent. At this horizon, time behaves in a way that feels like a myth. To a distant observer, a clock falling toward the horizon would appear to tick slower and slower until it freezes completely, hovering forever on the edge of the dark. The image of the falling object remains suspended in time, a permanent ghost of the past. It suggests that in the presence of extreme gravity, nothing is ever truly lost. It is preserved, frozen in the amber of dilated time. The universe holds on to its memories at the edge of the deep, and the memory endures. While you are far from such a horizon, the principle of preservation echoes in your own room. The light reflecting off the walls, the heat stored in the floorboards, these are localized memories of the day, preserved by the physical environment. The room remembers the sunlight that filled it hours ago, releasing the warmth slowly back into the air. You are sleeping in a space that holds the history of the day gently, releasing it bit by bit as you rest. Let us return to the body and its relationship with this flexible time. Because your feet are often lower than your head, closer to the center of the earth, they exist in a slightly stronger gravitational field. Technically, scientifically, time moves marginally slower for your feet than for your head. You are a creature spanning different time zones, not across the globe, but across the height of your own body. The difference is infinitesimal, vanishingly small, yet it is real. You are not living in a single uniform time, but in a gradient of moments. This thought creates a beautiful complexity to your existence. You are smeared across the fabric of space-time, occupying a volume that experiences the flow of the universe at slightly different rates. It confirms that you are not a single point, but a landscape. Your body is a region of space, a territory of biology that the universe interacts with in layers. The ground holds your feet in the slow rhythm of the earth, while your thoughts float in the slightly faster current of the air above, and the rhythm adjusts. Your heart pumps blood against the gradient, working with the gravity to circulate life. The circulatory system is a hydraulic network that understands the pull of the planet. When you lie flat, you equalize the pressure, removing the need for the heart to fight the height difference. You bring your head and your feet into the same slice of the gravitational field, aligning your entire body with a single, unified flow of time. Resting is an act of synchronization. Einstein taught us that mass and energy are equivalent, that they are two forms of the same thing. You are made of matter, but you are also a reservoir of energy. The warmth radiating from your skin is infrared light, a form of energy that travels out into the room, curving the space it passes through. You are not just a static object in the manifold. You are a source of warmth, a beacon of energy that contributes to the shape of the universe. The heat you release warms the air, causing the molecules to move faster, changing the pressure and density of the room. In a very real sense, you are altering the local environment, rewriting the conditions of the space around you. The universe responds to your warmth. The air circulates in a new pattern because you are there. The blanket softens and contours to your shape. You are an active participant in the physics of the night, a creator of your own microclimate. And the warmth lingers. This energy you provide is never lost. It is transferred, absorbed, and redistributed. The law of conservation of energy ensures that your essence is maintained within the system. The heat you give to the room stays in the universe, changing form but never disappearing. You are weaving yourself into the thermal history of the cosmos, leaving a signature of warmth that persists long after you have drifted into sleep. Every atom in your body has existed since the dawn of time, forged in the hearts of ancient stars or in the cooling fires of the early universe. You are a collection of cosmic antiques, assembled for a brief moment into the shape of a human being. The carbon, the oxygen, the iron in your blood, they have all traveled through the curvature of space for billions of years to arrive here, at this specific coordinate, to form the vessel of your life. You are the current custodian of this matter. This matter tells space-time how to curve. It is a reciprocal loop. The universe shaped the stars that made you, and now you shape the universe that holds you. It is a partnership. You are not an intruder in the cosmos. You are a native feature, as natural as a planet or a nebula. The space in this room was waiting for you to occupy it, waiting to bend around your form and complete the geometry of the moment. And everything fits. There is no gap between you and the rest of reality. The boundary of your skin is not a wall, but a meeting place where your biology touches the physics of the outside world. The air presses gently against you, and you press back. The gravity pulls, and your structure resists. It is a continuous, stable handshake between the self and the space. You are plugged into the socket of the universe, grounded and secure. Deep in the fabric, the geometry is weaving a cradle of mathematics, a structure of laws that cannot be broken. These laws are benevolent in their consistency. They do not change on a whim. Gravity will not suddenly reverse. Time will not suddenly run backward. You can close your eyes with the absolute certainty that the world will be there when you wake up, held together by the same reliable curves that are holding you now. The fidelity of the universe is absolute. This fidelity extends to the principle of inertia, a quality that is essentially the universe's promise of continuity. Inertia is the tendency of objects to keep doing what they are doing. If something is still, it wants to remain still. By lying here, you are tapping into this cosmic stubbornness, this resistance to change. The mass of your body creates a localized pact with space. I am here, and I will remain here until acted upon. It is a law that favors rest over motion, a scientific validation of your stillness. In the four-dimensional map of the cosmos, your life traces a continuous path known as a world line. Imagine a long, unbroken thread woven through the block of spacetime, marking every coordinate you have ever occupied. When you run, the line twists and curves through space. But now, as you sleep, your world line becomes straight and pure. You are moving only through time, not through space. You are drawing a perfect vertical line through the duration of the night, a pillar of existence that stands tall in the temporal dimension. And the line holds true. This vertical ascent through time is the most efficient journey you can take. You are traveling towards the morning without taking a single step, letting the flow of the temporal river carry you forward. The geometry of your world line is simple, elegant, and stable. You are not tangling the thread. You are letting it unspool with grace, creating a clean, quiet segment in the tapestry of your history. Consider the atmosphere of the room, the invisible ocean of nitrogen and oxygen that fills the space between the walls. These molecules are governed by the same field that holds the planets. They do not fly off into the void because the Earth's gravity binds them in a soft blue hug. The air is a blanket that the planet pulls tight around itself, a layer of insulation that keeps the cold of space from touching you. You are breathing in the protection of the world. Each breath you take is an exchange with this gravitational atmosphere. You draw in the air that has been held by the Earth for billions of years, air that has circulated through the lungs of history, purified by the forests and the seas. The pressure of the atmosphere against your skin is constant, about 14 pounds per square inch, but you do not feel it as a weight. You feel it as a presence, a firm, comforting containment that keeps you together. You are held together by the weight of the sky, and the pressure comforts. It is a hug from the air itself. If this pressure were removed, you would not be able to function. The universe applies this gentle squeeze to ensure your biology works, to keep the fluids in your body flowing correctly, to keep the gases in your blood dissolved. The air pressure is a silent partner in your survival, a constant invisible force that maintains the structural integrity of your life. Let us widen the lens to the concept of the frame of reference. In the vastness of the cosmos, there is no single center. Every point can claim to be the center, depending on the observer. Tonight, your bed is the center of the observable universe. The horizon is defined by your walls. The zenith is the ceiling. The stars revolve around your position. Physics grants you the right to place yourself at the origin of the coordinate system, x0, y0, z0, t mas now. This is not vanity, it is relativity. The laws of physics work exactly the same for you in your room as they do for an astronaut on a station or a scientist on a distant planet. Nature does not play favorites. It grants every observer the same fundamental rights, the same valid perspective. By claiming this space as your center, you are anchoring the universe to your experience. You are the stillness around which everything else turns, and the center stabilizes. From this vantage point, you can watch the world rotate without being dizzy. You are the fixed point. The worries of the day, the spinning tasks, the orbiting responsibilities, they are out there, on the periphery, moving along their own curves. They do not occupy the center. The center is reserved for rest. It is the eye of the storm, the place where the geometry flattens out into peace. Think of the concept of simultaneity, the idea that now is a slice of time shared across space. In the gentle logic of the night, we can imagine a slice of now that connects you to every other sleeping living thing. A wave of rest is moving across the globe, following the shadow of the Earth. You are part of a synchronized shutdown, a rolling tide of dreamers who have all surrendered to the same gravity, the same darkness. This connection is not physical, but temporal. You are sharing the tat-now coordinate with the trees resting in the forest, with the fish drifting in the dark reefs, with the birds settled in the branches. The universe is experiencing a collective quiet on this side of the planet. You are in good company. The biology of the Earth aligns with the physics of the rotation, creating a hemisphere of silence, and the quiet expands. It travels through the ground, vibrating softly through the bedrock. The continents themselves are drifting, riding on the mantle in a slow tectonic slumber. Even the land is not in a rush. It moves at the speed of fingernails growing, a pace so patient that it makes the hour hand of a clock seem frantic. The Earth teaches us that great things happen through slowness, through the gradual accumulation of tiny movements. Let us return to the curvature of the space around you. We often visualize this as a rubber sheet, but that is a two-dimensional image. In reality, the curvature is three-dimensional. It is all around you. Space is puckering toward the center of the Earth from every direction, from above, from below, from the sides. You are in a converging field where all arrows of gravity point to the core. This creates a feeling of being focused, of being gathered in. Imagine the room is filled with a grid of laser lines, marking the shape of space. Near the floor, the grid lines are slightly closer together than they are near the ceiling. The space itself is denser at the bottom. You are resting in the densest, richest part of the room's geometry. You have sunk to the place where the fabric is most supportive, most tightly woven, and the weave tightens. This density is what keeps you grounded. If space were uniform, you would float. But the gradient, the subtle change in the fabric from high to low, guides you down. It is a gentle slope that you can never fall off of, because it is everywhere. You are always at the bottom of the local slope, always in the safest position relative to the ground. Reflect on the energy contained within your own mass. Einstein's equation, E mc2, tells us that mass is simply concentrated energy, waiting, resting. You are a vessel of immense potential, but right now, that potential is dormant. You are energy at rest. There is a profound beauty in this, that you do not need to burn bright, to be powerful. You simply need to be. Your existence alone is a powerhouse of physics, quiet and contained. This potential energy is not demanding. It does not ask to be used. It sits within the nucleus of your atoms, binding the protons and neutrons together with the strong nuclear force. This force is the strongest glue in the universe, and it is holding you together right now. You are built of indestructible bonds, forged in the fires of the cosmos, designed to endure. You are not fragile. You are made of the toughest stuff in existence, and the strength remains. The forces that hold your atoms together are billions of times stronger than the gravity that holds you to the bed. You are a fortress of particles. The universe has invested a great deal of energy into making you a coherent, solid entity. You can trust this structure. You do not need to hold yourself together. The fundamental forces of nature are doing it for you, effortlessly, in the dark. Consider the cosmological constant, a term used to describe the energy density of empty space itself. Even in the deepest void, there is a simmering energy, a vacuum energy that pervades the universe. Space is never truly zero. It is always humming with a baseline value of potential. This means that emptiness is not nothingness. It is a plenum, a fullness. You are resting in a universe that is fundamentally full, fundamentally alive with possibility. This background energy is smooth and uniform, a sea of calm that fills the gaps between the stars. It is the canvas upon which the painting of reality is spread. By closing your eyes, you tune into this background hum, this static of existence. It is not a noise, but a texture, the velvet feeling of the vacuum. It is the baseline of reality, the silence before the sound, the blank page before the story. And everything settles. The fluctuations of the quantum world average out into the smooth experience of your night, while the subatomic particles may dance and jitter. The macroscopic world, the world of beds and blankets and sleeping humans, is stable. The chaos cancels itself out, leaving only the calm. The law of large numbers ensures that your reality remains predictable, steady, and secure. Far away, in the deep cosmos, two neutron stars might be circling each other, spiraling inward. As they dance, they ripple the fabric of space-time, sending out gravitational waves. These waves travel across the universe, passing through galaxies, through solar systems, and eventually through the Earth. When they pass through you, they stretch and squeeze space by a distance smaller than a proton. You are flexible enough to ripple with the universe. These waves are the heartbeat of the cosmos, the evidence that the universe is dynamic and interconnected. You are connected to the dance of those distant stars. Their motion touches you. You are not isolated in your room. You are dipping your toes in the cosmic ocean, feeling the ripples of events that happen light years away. It is a silent communion with the grand machinery of the sky, and the pulse travels. It passes through the walls without breaking them, through the planet without cracking it. It is a ghost wave, a gentle reminder that space is a medium, a conductor of information. It reminds us that we are part of a responsive network. The universe feels everything that happens within it, and it shares that feeling across the vast distances, creating a web of sensation that includes you. Think of the path of a comet, a long, elliptical loop that takes it deep into the dark and then back toward the light. It follows a track laid down by gravity, a celestial rail. Your sleep cycles follow a similar loop. You drift down into the deep, slow-wave sleep, the perihelion of your rest, and then you circle back up toward the lighter stages. You are orbiting the center of consciousness, diving in and out of the deep, guided by the biological gravity of your brain. This orbital mechanic is universal. Electrons orbit nuclei, moons orbit planets, sleep cycles orbit the waking mind. It is the preferred motion of nature, the cycle, the return. You are not traveling in a straight line into oblivion. You are circling. You will return. The morning is the point of return, the closing of the loop. But for now, you are on the outward arc, the part of the journey that explores the quiet, dark reaches of the system. And the orbit holds. The tether of the cycle is strong. You can drift deep into the dream world without fear of getting lost, because the gravity of your biology will always pull you back. The sun will rise, the light will return, and your orbit will bring you back to the surface. For now, enjoy the aphelion, the point farthest from the sun, the point of deepest cool and deepest rest. As you lie there, the Earth is hurtling through the galaxy at nearly 500,000 miles per hour, orbiting the center of the Milky Way. Yet, you feel no wind, no rattle. The motion is so smooth, so perfectly balanced with the motion of the solar system that it feels like stillness. This is the miracle of the inertial frame. You are moving at incredible speeds, yet you are perfectly at rest. The universe carries you with a hand so steady that you cannot spill a drop of water. This smoothness is a testament to the quality of the vacuum. There are no potholes in space, no bumps in the road of the galaxy. It is a pristine highway of geometry. You are riding in the most luxurious vehicle imaginable, a planet that shields you, carries you, and keeps you perfectly stable while navigating the complex currents of the galactic river. And the journey is silent. The engine of the Earth, its momentum, makes no sound. The turning of the galaxy is noiseless. The universe operates on a scale of grandeur that transcends acoustic sound. It plays a music of spheres, a harmony of orbits and periods that can be understood but not heard. It is a lullaby of mathematics, repeating its perfect equations to lull the worlds to sleep. Let the concept of action settle in your mind. In physics, the principle of least action states that nature always chooses the path that minimizes the action, essentially, the path of least effort. Light takes the quickest path. Water flows the easiest way. Planets choose the most efficient orbit. The universe is fundamentally lazy in the most beautiful sense. It never wastes energy. It never overworks. You are aligning with this principle. Tonight, by sleeping, you are minimizing your action. You are choosing the path of least resistance, the path that conservation of energy demands. You are acting in perfect accordance with the fundamental laws of nature. To rest is not to stop. It is to optimize. It is to become efficient, to strip away the unnecessary, and to exist in the most elegant state possible. This optimization is evident in the way your body naturally finds its most comfortable alignment. You shift, you adjust, and you settle, seeking the configuration that requires the least amount of muscular tension to maintain. In doing so, you are solving a complex physics problem of statics and dynamics without ever doing the math. Your nervous system intuitively understands the distribution of forces, finding the equilibrium where gravity does the work of holding you rather than your muscles. You are becoming a passive element in the structure of the room, letting the bed absorb the vectors of your weight, and the efficiency remains. This state of low energy is the preferred state of the entire cosmos. A ball rolls to the bottom of the hill. A star collapses to its core. A galaxy flattens into a disk. Nature loves the valley. By descending into sleep, you are mimicking this universal slide toward the ground state. You are shedding the high-energy demands of the day, the thinking, the moving, the resisting, and embracing the low-energy grace of the night. It is a return to simplicity, a shedding of the excess to reveal the calm geometry underneath. Consider the overall shape of the universe itself. For a long time, we wondered if it was flat, extending forever like an infinite tabletop, or curved like a sphere. The prevailing theory suggests it is finite but unbounded, much like the surface of the Earth. If you walk in a straight line long enough on Earth, you eventually return to where you started. In a closed universe, if you could travel far enough into the deep black, past the farthest galaxies, you might eventually arrive back at the back of your own head, and the circle closes. This idea wraps the cosmos into a comforting whole. It suggests that there is no outside, no terrifying edge where reality simply stops. We are contained within a self-consistent geometry, a bubble of existence that holds everything within itself. You are not lost in an infinite void. You are safe inside a closed loop of space-time. The universe embraces itself, curving back to ensure that everything remains connected, that every path leads eventually to a return. Within this grand shape, there is a hidden scaffolding known as dark matter. It is invisible to our eyes, invisible to our light, yet it accounts for most of the mass in the universe. It is the silent gravity that holds the galaxies together, preventing them from flying apart as they spin. Think of it as the unseen hands of the cosmos, cupping the stars, keeping the structure intact. You cannot see it, but you can feel its effects. In the stability of the night sky, the structure supports. This invisible web permeates everything, a ghost architecture that creates the valleys where galaxies can form and life can emerge. It is the bedrock of the void. Just as the springs inside your mattress are hidden beneath the fabric but provide the essential support, dark matter lies beneath the visible universe, holding it up. You are resting in a galaxy that is being cradled by this vast, silent substance. It is a reassurance that what we see is supported by something much stronger that we cannot see. Alongside this holding force, there is a gentle expansion. The universe is not static, it is breathing out. Every galaxy is slowly drifting away from every other galaxy, carried by the stretching of space itself. This is not a violent explosion, but a quiet, majestic growth. The space between things is multiplying, creating more room, more emptiness, more peace. The room you are in is part of this expansion, expanding, imperceptibly, participating in the slow exhale of creation. And the space widens. Imagine the universe as a balloon being slowly inflated. The galaxies are dots painted on the surface. As the balloon expands, the dots move apart, not because they are swimming, but because the rubber between them is stretching. This stretching is the action of dark energy, a mysterious pressure that pushes outward, countering gravity. It creates a balance between the pull of matter and the push of space, a dynamic tension that keeps the universe grand and open. This expansion means that the universe is getting cooler and quieter as it ages. The energy is spreading out, thinning the density of the heat. We are moving toward a future of profound stillness, a heat death that is not a death, but a final, perfect rest. It is the ultimate destiny of thermodynamics, to reach a state where nothing struggles, where all temperature is equal, and all motion is gentle. You are rehearsing this final piece every night. The origin of this expansion, the Big Bang, was not a chaotic blast, but a rapid unfolding. Think of a flower bud opening in the morning sun, the petals unfurling from a tight center to a wide, beautiful bloom. The universe bloomed. It unfolded from a single point of infinite density, a singularity, into the vast, rich tapestry we see today. You are living inside the bloom, resting on one of the petals of this cosmic flower. The unfolding continues. The process has not stopped. The universe is still opening up, still discovering new volumes of darkness and light. Your own life is a microcosm of this. You unfold a little more each day, expanding your understanding, your experiences, your connections. And at night, you fold back in, returning to the seed, to the core of yourself, to gather strength for the next expansion. It is a rhythm of breath. Inhale the day, exhale the night. When light tries to escape a massive object like a star, it loses energy as it climbs out of the gravity well. This is called gravitational redshift. The light becomes tired, its frequency stretching out towards the red end of the spectrum. It becomes softer, longer, lazier. The fierce blue light of the source transforms into a gentle red glow by the time it reaches the safety of space. Gravity softens the harshness of energy, and the light softens. In your room, the darkness acts as a filter, shifting the mood from the bright, high-frequency energy of the noon sun to the low, warm frequency of the night. Your eyes adjust to this redshift. You stop seeing the sharp edges and the bright colors. You start seeing the shadows and the contours. The world becomes redder, warmer, deeper. It is a visual lullaby, a shifting of the spectrum toward rest. Let us return to the concept of the singularity, the center of a black hole where all paths end, where density becomes infinite. While it sounds intense, in the language of geometry, it is simply a point where the curve becomes absolute. It is the ultimate period at the end of the sentence. In sleep, your consciousness approaches a kind of singularity, a single point of focus, a unification of all your scattered thoughts into one dense, heavy moment of oblivion. Surrounding a black hole is a region called the photon sphere, where gravity is so strong that light is trapped in orbit. If you were there, you would see the back of your own head, as the light reflecting off you circles the hole and returns to your eyes. It is a ring of light, a halo of trapped images. This sphere represents a perfect trap, a place where the view is endless because it circles forever, and the ring glows. This circularity is hypnotic. It reminds us of the cycles of thought that happen as we drift off, repeating memories, looping melodies, the mind circling a single idea until it loses meaning and becomes texture. You are entering your own photon sphere, where the outside world fades and only the internal orbit remains. The images of the day spin around you, slower and slower, until they merge into the stable ring of dreams. As you get closer to a massive object, gravity pulls harder on your feet than on your head, if you are falling feet first. This is known as the tidal force. In extreme cases, it stretches. In gentle cases, like on Earth, it is a subtle alignment. It is a feeling of being drawn out, of being lengthened. Yoga and stretching exercises mimic this tidal release, pulling the tension out of the muscles, elongating the spine. The tension releases. You can feel this subtle tide now. As you lie flat, your spine decompresses. The little discs of fluid between your vertebrae, squeezed by the day's gravity, begin to expand again. You are literally growing taller as you sleep, stretching out the compression of the waking hours. You are yielding to the tidal forces of relaxation, allowing your body to uncramp and find its full length. There is a famous paradox in relativity called the twin paradox. One twin stays on Earth, while the other travels at the speed of light in a rocket. When the traveler returns, they are younger than the twin who stayed behind. Motion through space slows the motion through time. While you are not in a rocket, the principle of relative time creates a sanctuary. When you sleep, you step out of the frantic timeline of society. You pause your aging in the sense of wear and tear, and time preserves you. Sleep is the closest we have to a fountain of youth. It is a biological time dilation. While the world ages and rusts outside, your cells are repairing, your skin is renewing, your brain is cleaning itself. You are the traveler in the rocket, cocooned in a vessel of rest while the Earth spins on. You will wake up renewed, having stolen a few hours back from the entropy of the universe. In geometry, we can imagine shapes in higher dimensions. A square is 2D, a cube is 3D, a tesseract is 4D. A tesseract is a cube within a cube, constantly folding into itself. If you could see in 4 dimensions, you would see the inside and the outside of a room simultaneously. You would see the object and its timeline all at once. The universe is likely a multidimensional shape, of which we only see a shadow. The dimension expands. Dreams are a glimpse into this higher geometry. In a dream, you can be in 2 places at once. The inside is the outside. The past is the present. The rigid rules of 3D space dissolve. You are exploring the tesseract of the mind, folding the reality of the day into new, impossible shapes. It is a playground of topology where the walls can become doors and the floor can become the sky. Pervading the entire cosmos is the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang. It is a faint, omnipresent radiation that fills every cubic inch of the universe with a temperature of 2.7 Kelvin. It is the oldest light in existence, the cooling embers of the creation fire. If you turn on an old television to a dead channel, a small percentage of that static is this ancient light dancing on the screen. The warmth persists. This background glow is the thermal blanket of the universe. It means that nowhere is truly dark. Nowhere is truly zero. We are bathed in the relic radiation of the beginning. It is a comforting thought that the universe has kept the heat of its birth, spreading it thin but never letting it go. You are sleeping in a bath of ancient photons, a sea of energy that connects you to the first moment of time. This background temperature is remarkably uniform. It is the same in every direction you look. This smoothness tells us that the infant universe was incredibly homogeneous, a perfect soup of potential. It was not chaotic, it was orderly. The chaos came later, with the stars and the planets. Deep down, the universe remembers that original order. It remembers how to be smooth, and the heat settles. As the universe expands, this background light stretches and cools, shifting deeper into the invisible radio waves. It is a long, slow cooling process that will last for trillions of years. There is no rush to freeze. The thermal inertia of the cosmos is vast. You too are cooling down for the night, your body temperature dropping slightly to trigger the onset of sleep, mimicking the cosmic chill. In the quantum world, particles can become entangled. 2 particles, once created together, share a bond that defies distance. If you spin one, the other spins instantly, even if it is on the other side of the galaxy. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. It suggests that space is not a separator, but a medium that allows for instant connection. Separation is an illusion of the macroscopic eye. The bond endures. You are made of particles that have been entangled with the universe since the beginning. You are not a separate entity. You are a knot in the quantum web. The atoms in your hand are entangled with the atoms of the stars from which they came. There is a ghost connection between you and the deep cosmos, a bridge of information that never breaks. You are touching the edge of the universe simply by existing. Some physicists propose the holographic principle, the idea that our 3D universe is actually a projection from a 2D surface at the edge of the cosmos, much like a hologram. All the information that makes up you might be encoded on the distant horizon of the universe, projected inward to create the experience of depth. It makes reality feel like a beautifully intricate film, a light show of immense complexity. The image holds. If this is true, then you are information. You are a story written on the walls of the universe, projected into the center to experience the dream of life. Sleep is a pause in the projection, a moment where the hologram settles. The information remains safe, encoded on the boundary, while the projection rests. You are data that has learned to breathe, a code that has learned to dream. Despite its flexibility, the fabric of spacetime is incredibly stiff. It is not like soft rubber that yields to a light touch. It is stiffer than steel, stronger than diamond. It takes the immense mass of a planet to make even a modest dent in it, to create the gravity that we feel. This stiffness is a form of cosmic stability. It means that the universe is not fragile. It does not wobble or tear easily. It is a robust, solid stage that requires grand gestures to change. You are resting on a surface that is structurally sound, engineered to withstand the weight of worlds without failing. This immense tension in the fabric is what allows waves to travel so fast. When two black holes collide, they ring the universe like a bell, and the sound travels at the speed of light because the medium is so taut. You are sleeping in a universe that is pulled tight, tuned to a high frequency of existence. Yet for you, this tension translates into support. The tightness of the drum skin is what allows it to hold the musician's beat. The tightness of space is what allows it to hold your life. And the fabric yields. It yields just enough to cradle you, but not enough to let you fall through. It is the perfect compromise between hardness and softness. The mattress mimics this property, firm enough to support your spine, but soft enough to cushion your shoulders. You are suspended between the immense rigidity of the vacuum and the gentle give of the bed, held in the balance of forces that defines your comfort. Consider the speed of gravity itself. If the sun were to suddenly vanish, the Earth would not fly off into the dark immediately. It would continue to orbit the empty spot for 8 minutes, held by the gravitational memory of the star. We are always reacting to the ghost of the sun, held by a curvature that was generated in the past. This lag tells us that connection persists even after the source is gone. The influence of warmth, of light, of gravity, it lingers. This delay creates a cushion of time, a softness in the cause and effect. It means that reality is not instantaneous and jarring. It is gradual. The news of the universe travels on a schedule. You are protected from the immediate shocks of the cosmos by the simple fact that distance takes time to cross. You are living in the gentle echo of the universe's events, never the initial shout, and the motion slows. As you settle deeper, you are aligning with the principle of conservation of momentum. A spinning top wants to keep spinning. A sleeping body wants to stay sleeping. This is the rotational equivalent of inertia. The Earth spins, conserving the angular momentum it gained at its birth. You are part of this ancient spin. The momentum of the planet carries you through the night, a steady, unwavering rotation that requires no fuel, only the silent permission of physics. This rotation is what creates the cycle of day and night, the rhythm that governs your biology. You are not fighting the dark. You are simply rotating into the shadow of the world. It is a geometric event, turning away from the star to face the void. This turning is essential. We cannot live in perpetual noon. We need the shadow, the cooling, the time when the geometry of the Earth blocks the intensity of the sun, granting us the privacy of the night. Imagine the bulk, the higher dimensional space that string theorists believe our universe floats within. We are like ants walking on a single sheet of paper, unaware of the room around us. But gravity might be the one force that can leak off the paper, drifting into the bulk. This suggests that the heaviness you feel is the one thing that connects you to dimensions beyond your understanding. Your weight is a multi-dimensional phenomenon, a bridge to the hidden layers of reality, and the silence spans the distance. If gravity leaks into the bulk, then your presence is felt in dimensions you cannot see. You are anchoring not just this 3D room, but a 4D, 5D, or even 11D space. You are a multi-layered being, existing on the brain membrane of our universe, but casting a gravitational shadow into the great unknown. Sleep is a time when we stop focusing on the surface and perhaps intuitively sense the depth. General relativity describes the smooth curves, while quantum mechanics describes the jittery particles. For decades, physicists have sought to unite them, to find the theory of everything. In sleep, you find your own unification. The jitter of your thoughts, the quantum mind, settles down into the smooth, heavy rhythm of your body, the relativistic mass. You are harmonizing the two scales of your existence, bringing the frantic neurons into alignment with the slow, steady breath. Consider the world tube. We spoke of a world line, but since you occupy volume, you are actually tracing a tube through space-time. Tonight, that tube is straight and consistent. It is a pillar of rest. By staying still, you are building a solid column of presence in the block universe. You are reinforcing your history, making the you of tonight a stable, unmoving foundation for the you of tomorrow. And the pattern holds. The geometry of a tube is strong. It resists buckling. By sleeping, you are strengthening the structural integrity of your timeline. You are not scattering your energy, you are consolidating it. The tube of your life has a quiet section now, a smooth, unblemished length where the turbulence of the day has been smoothed out into a perfect cylinder of time. Neutrinos are passing through you right now, trillions of them every second, born in the heart of the sun, flying through the earth as if it were made of mist. They do not touch you, they do not disturb you. To a neutrino, you are space. This reminds us that solidity is relative. To the gravity field, you are a heavy object. To the neutrino, you are a ghost. You are both solid and transparent, heavy and light, depending on who is looking. This permeability is a kind of freedom. You are not a wall that blocks the universe. You are a window it shines through. The cosmic rays, the magnetic fields, the gravitational waves, they all flow through you. You are an open system, allowing the universe to pass through, filtering nothing, resisting nothing. To sleep is to accept this flow, to let the cosmos wash through your atoms without holding on to any of it. And the flow continues. Even the magnetic field of the Earth, the magnetosphere, is arching through your room, passing through your body. It protects you from the solar wind, deflecting the harsh particles away. You are sleeping inside a magnetic shield, a giant, invisible bubble of force that the Earth generates to keep its inhabitants safe. You are aligned with the poles, part of the planetary circuit. Every object has a Schwarzschild radius, the size it would need to be crushed to in order to become a black hole. For you, it is infinitesimally small, smaller than an atom, but the potential is there. Mathematically, you contain the seed of a singularity. You are not just matter, you are a potential event horizon. But nature is kind. It keeps you expanded, fluffy, and low density. It allows you to occupy space comfortably, rather than collapsing into a point. This expansion is a gift of the electromagnetic force, which keeps your atoms apart, giving you volume and form. It fights the gravity that wants to crush you. The conflict between these forces creates the stability of your body. You are a balanced equation. The gravity pulls in, the electrons push out, and you rest in the happy middle, the zone of life and structure, and the balance remains. You are neither exploding nor collapsing. You are hovering in the Goldilocks zone of matter. This equilibrium is maintained without your effort. You do not have to command your atoms to hold their ground. They do it automatically, respecting the laws of quantum exclusion. You are a master of occupying space, simply by letting your atoms do their job. We often think of gravity as curving space, but near the Earth, the curvature of time is actually more significant. It is the slowing of time near the surface that causes things to fall. You are falling because your future is closer to the ground than your past. The geometry of time tilts you toward the Earth. To lie down is to align your body with this time tilt, to surrender to the inclination of the temporal landscape. You are literally falling into the future. The sensation of gravity is the sensation of moving through time towards the point of greatest proper time, the center of the attraction. By resting, you stop fighting this fall. You let time take you where it wants to go. And where it wants to go is forward, towards the morning, towards the light, towards the next moment. And the direction is true. There is no going back. And in this context, that is a relief. The past is a fixed canyon behind you. The future is the open plain ahead. Gravity ensures you keep moving in the right direction. It keeps the arrow of time flying straight. You are being guided through the fourth dimension by the gentle, constant tug of the world below. The stars above you are not fixed in place. They have proper motion, drifting slowly through the galaxy. The constellations are temporary shapes, fleeting sketches in the sky that will distort and dissolve over thousands of years. But for the span of your night, they are statues. The relative speeds are so slow that, for all intents and purposes, the sky is a permanent roof. You can trust the ceiling of the world to stay steady until you wake. This mix of motion and stillness is the paradox of the cosmos. Everything is moving, yet everything appears still. It is a matter of scale. Your breathing is a motion, yet to the room, you are still. The earth is moving, yet to the stars, it is a speck. We find peace in the stillness of the relative, ignoring the chaos of the absolute. We choose the frame of reference that brings us calm, and the frame steadies. You have chosen the frame of the bedroom, the frame of the pillow. In this frame, the velocity is 0. The acceleration is 0. The only numbers that matter are the hours of rest and the depth of the breath. You are simplifying the mathematics of your existence, reducing the variables until only the constants remain. Speaking of constants, the laws that govern this night are built on numbers that never change. The speed of light, the gravitational constant, the charge of the electron. These are the bedrock of reality. They are the same in your room as they are in the Andromeda galaxy. They were the same yesterday, and they will be the same tomorrow. You are sleeping on a foundation of eternal numbers, a logic that never falters. These constants are the fine-tuning of the universe. If gravity were slightly stronger, stars would burn out too fast. If it were weaker, stars would never form. We live in a universe that is perfectly balanced for long, slow-burning stars and long, quiet nights. You are the beneficiary of this cosmic precision. The universe has been dialed in for your existence, calibrated for comfort, and the numbers align. The math of the universe adds up. There are no errors in the calculation of the night. The energy in equals the energy out. The momentum is conserved. You can relax your mind, knowing that the great computer of the cosmos is running smoothly, handling all the complex interactions so you don't have to. You are a user of the system, not the administrator. The concept of the now is slippery in relativity, but in your experience, it is absolute. This moment, the sensation of the sheet, the temperature of the air, the heaviness of the eyelids, is the only reality that matters. The physics of the immediate takes precedence over the physics of the distant. You are collapsing the wave function of the universe into this single, tangible point of comfort. Deep in the theory of relativity is the idea that mass and energy curve spacetime, but also that pressure curves spacetime. The stress-energy tensor includes pressure. The pressure of the Earth's core contributes to its gravity. In a poetic sense, the pressure of the day also has a weight, a gravity that pulls at you. But as you release that pressure, as you exhale the stress, you are lightening your load. You are reducing your gravitational footprint, becoming lighter, simpler, easier for the universe to hold, and the weight lifts. The tension leaves the muscles, and with it, the distortion of your personal space smooths out. You are no longer a knot of stress. You are becoming a smooth surface, a calm sea. The universe responds to this smoothing. The space around you relaxes. The air settles. The disturbance you create in the field becomes a gentle ripple, then a flat, calm mirror. In the grand design of the cosmos, symmetry is the language of beauty. The laws of physics do not change depending on where you are or which direction you face. This creates a fundamental fairness in the universe, a balance known as Noether's theorem. It implies that for every symmetry, there is a conservation law. Energy is conserved, momentum is conserved. By lying still, you are embodying this symmetry, becoming a balanced equation where the left side equals the right. Your body finds its own axis of symmetry, mirroring the equilibrium of the stars, and the balance holds. This conservation means that nothing about you is evaporating into the ether. Your energy is safe, your mass is accounted for. The universe is a strict accountant, but a benevolent one. It ensures that the sum total of your existence remains constant throughout the night. You do not need to grip the edges of your identity. The laws of conservation are holding it together for you, preserving the you in the equation of the room. Consider the concept of entropy, the tendency of the universe to move from order to disorder. It is often seen as a decline, but in the context of sleep, it is a relaxation. High order requires energy to maintain. A sandcastle requires effort. A flat beach is natural. By letting go of your structured thoughts, by letting your focus dissolve into the general hum of the night, you are working with entropy. You are allowing the mental sandcastle to smooth out. returning to the peaceful, low-energy state of the beach. This increase in internal disorder, the blurring of precise thoughts into vague dreams, is actually a healing process. It allows the brain to reorganize, to sweep away the rigid structures of the day and prepare the ground for tomorrow. You are not losing your mind, you are decluttering it. You are letting the natural wash of the tide smooth the surface of your consciousness, erasing the footprints of stress, and the tide clears the sand. The second law of thermodynamics is not a threat here. It is a broom. It sweeps the noise into the silence. It dilutes the concentrated worry until it is too thin to be felt. The universe tends towards equilibrium, and tonight, equilibrium looks like sleep. It looks like a calm mind, a still body, and a room where the air is perfectly still. Let us contemplate the speed of light again, denoted by the letter C. It is the spine of relativity, the one thing that never changes, no matter how fast you move. This constancy provides a fixed reference point in a universe of relative motion. Because C is fixed, it forces space and time to adjust around it. The rigidity of this speed limit is what makes the rest of the world flexible. It is the pillar that holds up the tent of reality. Because this speed is finite, it means the universe has a horizon, a limit to how much we can see. This is the observable universe. Beyond this edge, galaxies are moving away from us faster than light, forever out of reach. We are in a bubble of light, a cozy sphere of visibility, surrounded by the great unknown. You are safe in the center of your own observable sphere, protected from the infinite by the limits of physics, and the horizon waits. We do not need to worry about what lies beyond the edge. The light from those distant places will never reach us, and their troubles will never touch us. We are insulated by the geometry of expansion. It is a cosmic quarantine that keeps the vastness manageable. You only need to deal with the space you can see, the room you can feel, the time you can measure. There is a phenomenon called length contraction. If you were moving near the speed of light, you would appear shortened in the direction of motion. Space would squash you to fit the relativistic limits. But here, at rest, you are your full length. You are occupying your maximum volume. You are claiming every inch of space that your body deserves. There is no compression, no rushing. You are fully expanded in the manifold, and the form extends. You stretch out your legs, reaching into the cool corners of the bed. You are defining the metric of the mattress. In general relativity, the metric tensor is the mathematical object that defines distance and volume. Tonight, the metric of your room is stable. The distance from the door to the window is not changing. The space is reliable. You can trust the measurements of your sanctuary. Deep in the cosmos, when a massive star reaches the end of its life, it does not always explode. Sometimes, it simply puffs off its outer layers, creating a planetary nebula. These are glowing shells of gas, colorful and serene, expanding slowly into the dark. It is a gentle release of substance, a returning of matter to the void. The star exhales its atmosphere and settles down into a quiet white dwarf, and the breath releases. You are mimicking this stellar exhalation. With every breath out, you are releasing the atmosphere of the day. You are puffing away the tension, creating a small nebula of warmth around your face. It is a cycle of release that mimics the life cycle of the stars. You are shedding the outer layers of activity to reveal the quiet, dense core of rest within. The gravitational constant, big G, is a number that determines the strength of gravity everywhere. It is a surprisingly small number. Gravity is the weakest of the four fundamental forces. A tiny magnet can lift a paperclip against the pull of the entire Earth. This weakness is a mercy. If gravity were stronger, the universe would have crunched down into a ball long ago. Instead, it is gentle. It allows flowers to stand up. It allows you to lift your head. It allows the universe to be spacious. And the grip is light. The Earth holds you, but it does not crush you. It is a polite force. It asks you to stay, but it does not demand your collapse. You are held by a force that is perfectly tuned for the existence of delicate biological structures. You are resting in the exact gravitational environment that your bones were evolved to withstand. It is a handshake between the planet and the skeleton, firm but respectful. We reside in a quiet suburb of the Milky Way, the Orion Arm. We are not too close to the galactic core, where radiation is intense and stars jostle for space. We are not too far out in the halo, where heavy elements are scarce. We are in the galactic habitable zone. It is the Goldilocks position of the galaxy, just right for a long, quiet history. You are sleeping in the safest neighborhood of the spiral, and the position is perfect. The night sky you see or imagine is the view from this calm spiral arm. The stars are scattered with a pleasing density, enough to be beautiful, not enough to be blinding. The geometry of the galaxy has placed you in a haven of stability. You are far from the violent events of the center, shielded by thousands of light years of spiral dust. On the largest scales, the universe is not random. It is structured like a sponge or a web. Filaments of dark matter stretch across the void, and galaxies cluster along. These filaments like dew on a spiderweb. This is the cosmic web. Between the filaments are vast voids, empty bubbles of silence. We are part of this grand architecture, a tiny node in the glowing lattice of the universe, and the network supports. Even though you feel solitary in your room, you are structurally integral to the web. The gravity of the Milky Way pulls on Andromeda. The Virgo cluster pulls on us. It is a chain of influence that stretches across billions of light years. You are woven into the fabric of the all. There are no loose threads in the cosmos. Everything is tied to everything else. There is a concept in physics called Mach's principle. It suggests that your inertia, your resistance to moving, is determined by the mass of all the other stars in the universe. You are heavy here because the stars are there. The distant galaxies are, in a mysterious way, bestowing you with your physical presence. You are in a silent partnership with the farthest reaches of space, and the distant stars weigh in. When you sink into the mattress, you are feeling the collective influence of the entire cosmos. The universe is conspiring to keep you still. The gravity of the local Earth pulls you down, but the inertia granted by the distant universe keeps you steady. You are the focal point of a universal agreement that you should rest right here, right now. Consider the hypothetical particle of gravity, the graviton. While we have not caught one yet, theory says they are massless, traveling at the speed of light, stitching the universe together. Imagine them as tiny, invisible threads being constantly woven between you and the Earth. It is a loom that never stops working. You are being stitched into the quilt of the planet, second by second, and the thread holds. This quantum sewing creates the sensation of continuity. You do not float away between seconds because the exchange of force is continuous. It is a stream of connection. You are wrapped in a blanket of gravitons, a fundamental swaddling that keeps you secure in your place. The universe is knitting you a safety net of geometry. The iron in your blood, which carries oxygen to your brain, was forged in the core of a star that died billions of years ago. When that star exploded in a supernova, it scattered its ashes into the void. Those ashes collapsed to form the Earth, and eventually, you. You are made of recycled starlight. The heavy elements that anchor you to the bed were once floating in the heart of a cosmic furnace, and the history remains. You are a museum of cosmic history. Every breath you take utilizes atoms that have seen the inside of a sun. In sleep, you are returning these atoms to a state of low energy, reminiscent of their journey through the cold of space before they found each other. You are the cooling embers of a magnificent event, resting now after a long journey through time. There is a mysterious point in the universe called the Great Attractor. It is a gravitational anomaly that is pulling our galaxy and thousands of others towards it. We are all drifting through the universe like a fleet of ships on a slow current, heading toward this unknown destination. It is a journey that takes aeons. We are not sitting still. We are on a voyage to the center of the local superstructure, and the current guides you. This drift is smooth and unfeeling. You cannot feel the pull of the Great Attractor, but it is there. It adds a layer of purpose to the drift. We are going somewhere. The universe has a flow, a direction. You are part of a grand migration of matter, a slow pilgrimage through the curves of spacetime. Sleep is just a small nap on the deck of this galactic ship. The Earth itself wobbles slowly as it spins, like a dying top. This is called precession. It takes 26,000 years for one full wobble. This is the Great Year. It is a cycle of time so slow that civilizations rise and fall within a single turn. This slow rhythm underpins the faster rhythms of the day and the year. It is the bass note of the planetary song, a hum so deep it is felt rather than heard. And the cycle turns slowly. This wobbling changes the North Star over millennia. The sky shifts, but so slowly that it seems eternal to us. We are protected by the slowness of the change. The universe evolves at a pace that is kind to biology. It gives us time to adapt, time to breathe, time to sleep. We are not rushed by the cosmos. Mathematical diagrams often try to map the infinite. The Penrose diagram is a diamond-shaped map that captures the entire infinite history of a universe onto a finite page. It brings the edges of forever into view. In your mind, you are drawing a similar map tonight. You are bringing the infinite possibilities of tomorrow into the finite space of a dream. You are mapping the eternity of the night into a single diamond-shaped jewel of rest. And the map is drawn. The boundaries are set. You have defined the edges of your rest. Inside this shape, the laws of physics are your guardians. The geometry is your bed. The gravity is your blanket. You have constructed a universe of sleep that is mathematically perfect, topologically secure, and gravitationally sound. You are ready to inhabit the structure you have built. This structure you inhabit is defined by the curvature of the local moment. The geometry of your room has simplified. The complex angles of the day have smoothed out into the gentle, rolling slopes of the night. You are no longer navigating a landscape of sharp decisions or steep challenges. You are resting on a plateau of spacetime, a flat, calm expanse where the energy gradient is perfectly level. There is nowhere to fall to, nowhere to climb. You have arrived at the gravitational center of your own peace, and the level holds. The floor is an equipotential surface, a plane where gravity is constant and unchanging. By lying parallel to it, you are aligning your body with the potential energy of the planet. You are minimizing the difference between your head and your feet, bringing your entire being into a single, harmonic stratum of the field. You are equalizing your existence, balancing the equations of your own biology with the physics of the ground. Reflect on the silence of the vacuum that surrounds our atmosphere. It is not an empty silence, but a pregnant one, filled with the potential for light and gravity to pass through. Your own silence is similar. It is not a lack of thought, but a clearing of the channel. You are quieting the noise of the mind to let the signal of the universe come through. You are becoming a receiver of the cosmic background calm, tuning your frequency to the slow, steady hum of the Earth's rotation. This rotation carries you eastward, always towards the rising sun, but for now, you are deep in the shadow. The shadow of the Earth is a cone of darkness projecting out into space, a long, tapering tunnel of night. You are resting safely inside this cone, shielded from the brilliance of the star by the solid mass of the planet. The Earth is your parasol, your shield, blocking the radiation so that you may cool down and recover, and the shadow protects. Within this cone of darkness, the temperature drops, the winds settle, and the atmosphere condenses slightly. You are part of this planetary cooling. Your own body temperature dips, shedding the excess heat of the day, radiating it gently into the linens. You are in thermal equilibrium with the night, syncing your metabolic rhythm with the cooling cycle of the hemisphere. Think of the event horizon one last time, not as a trap, but as a threshold. The moment of sleep is a soft horizon. You drift toward it, the pull becoming stronger, the logic of the waking world stretching and fading. As you cross this line, the information of the day is left behind, preserved on the surface, while you slip into the singular quiet of the interior. You are passing through the veil, entering a space where the laws of worry no longer apply, and the threshold is crossed. There is no bump, no jar. It is a smooth transition, a continuous function of consciousness. One moment, you are observing the dark. The next, you are part of it. The distinction between the observer and the observed begins to dissolve. You are no longer watching the universe. You are simply existing within it, a silent component of the great dark machine. The fabric of space-time is woven with threads of cause and effect. But in dreams, these threads loosen. The strict causality of the daylight hours relaxes. You are entering a realm where time can loop, where space can fold, where the rigid rules of relativity soften into the fluidity of imagination. You are free to travel without moving, to see without light, to explore the manifold of the mind without leaving your pillow. This freedom is supported by the heavy, reliable gravity that never sleeps. While you drift, the earth continues its vigil. The bed continues to push up. The gravity continues to pull down. The forces are locked in a permanent embrace, ensuring that your physical body remains safe and grounded while your mind explores the higher dimensions. You are tethered by the fundamental constants of nature, and the tether is secure. You can venture as deep as you like. The gravity will always be there to guide you back. The sun will always curve the earth back into the light. The cycles are unbreakable. You are resting on a foundation of certainty, supported by laws that have held the universe together for 13 billion years. There is no risk here. There is only the long, slow slide into the valley of rest. Your breathing has become a slow wave, a tidal rhythm that matches the wash of the oceans and the drift of the clouds. You are a microcosm of the planet's own systems. The air enters, the air leaves. The tide rises, the tide falls. You are participating in the respiration of the world. It is a simple, automatic process, requiring no will, no instruction. The universe breathes you. The separation between you and the room has thinned. The air is warm with your breath. The sheets are warm with your heat. You have merged with your environment, creating a continuous zone of comfort. The boundaries of your skin feel less defined, more porous. You are spreading out, expanding into the dark, occupying the space with a gentle, heavy presence. And the merge is complete. You are no longer a person trying to sleep. You are a sleeping part of the universe. You are a quiet node in the cosmic web, a point of stillness in the turning galaxy. The stars are above you, the core is below you, and you are suspended in the perfect middle, held by the geometry of belonging. The equations are balanced, the variables have been solved, the mass is at rest, the energy is conserved, the curvature is smooth. There is nothing left to calculate, nothing left to measure. The science of the night has done its work. The architecture is sound. You can trust the roof, the walls, the floor, and the gravity that binds them all. And the silence follows. It fills the corners of the room, fills the spaces between your thoughts. It is a heavy, velvet silence, rich with the absence of demand. It is the sound of the universe effectively managing itself. It does not need your help. It only needs your witness. And now, it does not even need that. It releases you from the duty of observation. You are drifting along the geodesic of sleep, the straightest, truest path through the night. It is a path of zero resistance. You are gliding on the frictionless surface of space-time, moving deeper into the restorative dark. The journey is automatic. The destination is assured. You are a traveler in the land of time, and the current is carrying you home. Everything rests in its place. The atoms of your body are slowing their dance. The electrons are settling into their lowest orbitals. The biology is quieting down. The physics is holding steady. The universe is a cradle, and you are the child within it, rocked by the spin of the world, held by the curve of the void. And gravity is the geometry of belonging. You belong here. You belong to this planet, to this gravity well, to this moment of peace. The struggle against the curve is over. You have surrendered to the shape of reality. You have found the groove in the fabric that was made for you. As the final awareness fades, know that the universe continues. The stars will hold their course. The earth will hold its shape. The laws will hold their truth. You are safe in the vast, beautiful, mathematical dark. If your eyes remain open, another journey awaits. But if sleep arrives, you are already home.